Welcome to It's All About You, a program that keeps you connected to all the exciting events and services the City of Urbana has to offer. I'm your host, Natalie KennyMarquez. On today's show, we'll chat with City of Urbana Housing Inspector Nick Hanson. We'll also stop by the Common Ground Food Co-op. It's a double dose of City Planner Kevin Garcia, as he'll be joined by Alice Novak to discuss Preservation Month, and then Mike Brunk to talk about the bike parking in downtown Urbana. But first, I'd like to welcome back to the program City of Urbana's Sterling Bollman. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
Nice to have you on the show again, and today you're talking about one of my favorite programs in Urbana,
Yes.
Urbana's Market at the Square. So it kicks off in just a few days.
Yeah, actually, May 7th is the first market day, so we're really approaching that very quickly.
That's exciting. And so tell us a little bit about like when it happens, where it happens, for those folks that maybe are new to the community or didn't have a chance to come last year.
Well, so starting May 7th, the Urbana's Market at the Square takes place every Saturday up through November, the beginning of November. And it happens from 7 a.m. to noon at the Lincoln Square parking lot right across the street from the city building. And basically we have all kinds of produce, we have meats, we have crafts, we have performers. I mean, everything you can really think of. We have it jam-packed. We have food trucks. I mean, it's kind of everything you want we have in that little area.
That's awesome. And so what time does the market take place? Do I have to get up early?
Yeah. You know, if you want all the stuff that, like, if you really want something, you should probably go early because at 7 a.m. when it opens, we're going to be pretty busy. And, you know, by about noon when it's slowing down, a lot of people are sold out of things. So, yeah, the earlier you get there, the better. Plus, you know, around 10, 11, it's really crowded. So,
right.
Yeah.
And so one thing about the market that I've always liked is that, you know, they have a lot of great products out there. The vendors are fantastic. You can establish this relationship with the person that grows your food, but beyond that, there's programs that are free.
Yeah, and actually, we do Sprouts at the Market for the kids. We do Read at the Market with the Urbana Free Library. We do Art at the Market with local arts and musicians. And actually, something new we're doing this year is some chef demos, and it's that way we're having some local chefs come in. They're going to source the food from certain vendors. They're going to make it up. They're going to have samples. And then we actually have some vineyards and wineries there to have some wine samples to go along with it. So it's something new we're going to try out and see how that works.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like new, and I look forward to trying some tasty samples from local food.
Hopefully.
All right, well, where can we go to find out more about the market? I know that there's lots of
if you go to our
media.
website, we have our website, urbanaillinois.us/market. We also have a Facebook page, Twitter page, Instagram page. I try to keep those updated as often as I can, and we'll have all the breaking news and all the what you can find there. And you can also go on our website and find an interactive map and search engine, so that way you can find your favorite vendors, or if you are looking for a certain product, you know when to come to the market and if it's going to be there.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for talking about Market at the Square,
No
and
problem.
we'll see you on May 7th and many other Saturdays.
Sounds good.
Thanks. And thanks for joining us again. We're back with It's All About You, and now I'm with Nick Hanson from Building Safety Division of the City of Urbana. Nick, you're a housing inspector with the city, and I'd love to know all about being a housing inspector. But before we do that, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to Urbana?
All right. I actually grew up in the Paxton area and moved away in early 2000 and lived over in Lincoln, Illinois for a little over 12 years, and worked for the fire department over there full-time, and then recently moved back to get closer to family who's got some medical problems.
All right, so you're back in town and you're with the city, and as a housing inspector, what's your day look like as a housing inspector? What do you do?
Well, depending on the day of the week, you know, some days, you know, we spend a lot of time out in the field doing surveys, or inspections rather, and then other days it's, you know, catching up on paperwork.
What kind of inspections do you do? Is it like rental inspections, or do you go to new houses being built or new commercial businesses?
The housing inspectors really focus on two things, and that's systematic inspections, in which we go around and to the rental properties and basically do proactive inspections to make sure the houses are up to the current codes and standards. And then we also do complaint-driven inspections where the tenants call us and they'll come in and file out a complaint with the city in regards to whatever the issue is that they're not getting resolved with the landlords. And so we'll go out and we'll do an inspection of the property, and then we'll send the landlords a notice of, any violations that we find and require corrective actions.
And so if someone has a question or needs help with something and they're not really sure what route to take, can they stop into the office, or is there a place on the website where they can go?
Actually, we're pretty old school yet. You got to stop in the office, fill out a complaint form with the department, and then they'll arrange a time that's convenient for both the inspector and the tenant to do the inspection.
Awesome. And if someone wants to call, if they still aren't sure what to do, what's a phone number they can call?
They can reach us at 328-8274.
Awesome. Well, I have the pleasure of working with you in community development, and I can say you're awesome, and we're glad to have you on board with community development at the city. And so thank you for your work as housing inspector, and keep up the good work.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks. And we're back with It's All About You, and we're on the patio of Common Ground Food Co-op, joined by Maria Ludicky, the marketing manager of Common Ground. Thanks for being on the program.
Thanks for having me, Natalie.
I know we've chatted before on It's All About You about some of the great things happening inside of Common Ground, but there's something great happening right outside of Common Ground this month. Tell us about it.
We're super excited. May 7th, so the first weekend of the market.
Yes.
We are going to be having a plant sale, and so basically all of our farmers have already been given seeds, and they grow tomatoes, peppers, all sorts of vegetables for us. And so it's a really wonderful thing that they do, and then they drop them off, and we sell them for $3 a piece on our porch, and all proceeds go to our Food for All program.
And what is the Food for All program?
Food for All is a food accessibility program, and so it was started in 2008 when we realized, hey, food's really expensive. People are having a rough time, and they need to be able to afford healthy food.
Right.
And so we created this program, which offers a few different things. One is an equity grant, so you can become an owner completely for free. One is a 10% discount, so every single time you shop, you can get 10% off your entire purchase. One is over 100 items in the store that we've marked at everyday low prices, and we consider those just our shopping basics.
Okay.
And the last piece is classes. So it's not just giving people healthy food, but teaching them how to utilize those foods.
That's awesome. So folks can come to the co-op, buy plants at $3 a piece, and all that money goes to that amazing program.
Yep.
It's just that easy.
It's just that easy.
Now, do you have to be a co-op member in order to shop the plant sale?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
I know that that's something people question a lot, not just about the plant sale, but about Common Ground. But anybody can come here.
Anybody can shop. Anybody can shop.
All right, it's just that easy. And remind me again, what are the hours of the plant sale and the date?
Yeah, May 7th.
Okay.
7 a.m. to noon. So lines up really well with the market.
Right,
The goal is people check out the market, they meet their farmers, they get some fresh produce, they come over here, get some plants. All money goes to an amazing program that helps people in the whole community eat healthy on a budget. They can come inside, get an iced tea, enjoy lunch on the porch. It's going to be a great start.
I feel like my May 7th is just completely planned out.
Yeah, you don't need to make plans because May 7th is ready to go.
Well, I think the month of May is pretty great altogether.
Yeah, it really is.
There's a few more celebrations happening in May.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us today, and I look forward to attending the plant sale, the market, May 7th. It's on.
Wonderful. Thank you, Natalie.
Thanks, Maria. And and thank you for joining us. We're back with It's All About You, and we're on the north end of Crane Alley, joined today by Alice Novak of the Historic Preservation Commission and Kevin Garcia with Community Development at the City of Urbana. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you on the program, and this month is a pretty special month for historic preservation. Why don't you tell us about what's happening during the month of May?
Oh, well, there's a lot happening. So May is National Preservation Month, and I think this year we've really decided at the city and with the Historic Preservation Commission that we're going to do a lot of activities that people can get involved in, learn more about preservation, and we've got a lot going on.
We do. I think we have 8 activities planned for the month. Wow. And in past years, unfortunately, we haven't done that much, so we're more than making up for time. So it's also National Bicycle Month.
Yes.
And so one of our first things is going to be a bicycle tour of a historic area. So we're going to combine the two things together. We have 3 lectures planned for the month. We have 2 tours that are kind of follow-ups to the 2 lectures we have. We hope to get a proclamation from City Council at the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
And we also have a Historic Preservation Commission meeting that first Wednesday in May. I think it's May 4th.
Yes.
And we hope to have a couple of new local landmarks that come out of that meeting as well.
That's fantastic. That's a lot to pack into the month of May, but it's really, you know, with it being Bike Month, the start of the farmers market, it's really that month where everyone just kind of gets out and does things, and so it's great that you're going to have these activities planned and an opportunity for people to get out and learn some things. And you said there's some lectures coming up. Where can folks go to learn more about all of these activities that are happening?
Well, you can go onto our website. There's information on the city's website. See, if you go to the resident page, there's a section on historic preservation, so information about everything up there.
We're also on the library's calendar because our 3 lectures that we're having this month on the 11th, 18th, and 25th, I think, if those are all Wednesdays. Those will all be at Urbana Free Library in the Lewis Auditorium. So that's already on the library calendar.
Fantastic. What are some of the topics of these lectures? Are you still working on the...
No, we aren't. We have it set.
Okay.
2 of them are going to be on how to identify styles and vernacular building types.
Okay.
And those are the 2 that have the follow-up tours in neighborhoods. For the style follow-up tour, we're going to meet at the Market on the Square at 10 o'clock and walk to the nearby West Urbana neighborhood and look in person at how to identify styles and architectural parts and things like that. And then the next one, the vernacular forms, we'll take a look at the historic East Urbana neighborhood to look at the really great accumulation of vernacular cottages that are in that neighborhood as well. And then the last lecture, there's no follow-up tour, but Stuart Burlocker, who's actually a professor of entomology, has been doing some fantastic research on antebellum houses in the area. And so he'll be talking about some of our oldest houses in West Urbana and East Urbana.
That's awesome. I hope that we can get some video coverage of that because I'd like to, you know, be able to share that with folks that maybe can't make it out on that Saturday morning to do it. But so the month of May, Preservation Month, lots happening.
Yes.
Go to the website for more details. And is there anything else you want to share today about?
Well, we just hope that people will celebrate historic preservation. We've had a little bit of bad publicity maybe regarding some local landmarks that we've done in recent years. But you know, the city, to me, the city's strongest asset is the historic neighborhoods. And we love the walkability and the amenities and things that come with those neighborhoods. So we hope everybody will celebrate Preservation Month however they see fit.
That's wonderful. And I love that you're tying it into Bike Month, which we're going to talk about also on the program today.
Great.
That's true.
So thank you so much for joining us, and I hope we can meet again and learn more about historic preservation in the city of Urbana.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
We're back with It's All About You. We brought the program just down Main Street in front of some great bike racks, joined by some great folks. You've met Mike Brunk before with the City of Urbana Public Works Department, and of course Kevin Garcia, who we just talked with. Yes. Great to have you guys back on the show. Talking about Bike Month, there's a lot of programs happening this month, a lot of great things. A lot of folks are going to be out on their bike And one thing they're going to need to know about is how to lock that bike up as they get out and about. So tell us about this and about bike racks and what we can do.
I'll start out. I kind of represent Public Works here. I ride bicycles, and I volunteered to be the Public Works representative who really locates these bike racks in the downtown area. So what we're looking at here is a U-rack. We have several types of racks, which we'll go look at. But the safest way to lock a bicycle, depending on what kind of bicycle you have, is a good hard U-rack. U-lock, excuse me. And cable locks work. You usually want to lock your bicycle tires and your frame together with the rack itself. And that keeps people from coming in here and taking a wheel off. Cable locks are good generally for the daytime, but you know, they can be cut.
Yeah.
So U-locks are really what's recommended, and our U-locks will work with our U-racks and our varsity racks that I'm about to show you. So some of the other considerations we like people to have when they bring their bicycles in the downtown area is occasionally we get them locked on other things.
Right.
And people have to realize that we have infrastructure down here that we have to maintain. And there's occasions where we see a bicycle locked to a meter and it doesn't allow the people to get out and feed the meter. So we really don't want people locking to meters and benches and guardrails and areas where they could get in the way of pedestrians or vehicular parking or traffic. And of course, I'm saving the last concern that I have, parking to trees.
Yes.
You know, what people don't realize on trees, and our forest is struggling right now with the emerald ash borer, young trees bruise easy. So you put a bicycle up against a tree, the wind knocks it over or what have you, you really don't see that damage till maybe the next year or the year after.
I see,
and it's just like kicking a tree in the shin if they had shins. So please don't lock your bicycles to trees. We've got many racks down in the downtown area, so let's go take a look at a few of the locations where we have them.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. So to continue our tour of bike racks in downtown Urbana, we're over by Black Dog, and oh, here comes Kevin. He's going to pull into this varsity bike rack here and show us how it's done.
Hello, I'm not sure how y'all beat me over here. Carrying all the equipment and such.
So these bike racks, Mike and Kevin, look a little bit different than those U-shaped racks that we saw over on Main Street. And I know I've seen them in a few different places. They're here, they're over by the city building on Vine Street too, but how does one lock their bike up to something like this?
Yeah, so it's actually pretty, it's pretty intuitive. Each rack has two sides with wheel wells, so this is a little bit more stable, so your wheel goes in the bottom there.
It's like a kickstand.
Yeah, and then it just rests up against this top portion really nicely, and then you just lock through here. If I had a bigger U-lock, like Mike said, I would lock it through the wheel as well, just to add more safety.
Sure.
And security. But yeah, they're really easy to use. We've started installing these at various places around town as well. And we find these and the U-racks are really good racks.
It's a nice system because it allows us to put a lot of bikes in a small space, and it holds them in a vertical fashion. So sometimes with the other racks, bicycles have a tendency to fall over.
And then they all kind of
nice and neat.
Right.
So there's a nice little neat QR code on the top of these things if people want to learn more about the rack, and it talks about how to lock your bicycle and what not to do.
Sure.
But it's a new style rack. We like them a lot. They're easy to install and they're very secure. If you look at this bicycle over here, it's locked to the lean bar here through the frame and both tires with a cable lock. So varsity bike racks, we have them here at the Black Dog restaurant. We let's see, we have them over at Common Ground under our bike shelter.
Yes.
And there's a few locations around town that we have these varsity racks. People will probably start to see more of them.
That's great. So we've seen a couple of different bike racks. We've learned where we should lock our bikes up and how to do it, where we shouldn't lock our bikes up and why. And I think this is all great information, especially this month when it's bike month. Folks are going to be out bike to market, bike to work. I know there's some events happening with the schools. Kevin, where can folks go to learn more about all the other events and happenings dealing with bike month?
Yeah, so, well, there's actually a dedicated website for Bike Month. The URL escapes me off the top of my head, but if you go to the city's website and just search for Bike Urbana, we have links to that site there. You could also find them, I'm sure, through the Champaign County Bikes website, so just do a search for that organization. You can find it through there. There's a lot going on for Bike Month, way more than I can name off the top of my head, but lots of good stuff. Should be a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Well, learning how to lock up your bike is a good way to get started as we get out and about this month, and I appreciate you guys joining us on the program. And
Thanks for having us.
That's great.
We invite bikers to come downtown. We have racks all the way down Main Street, down Ray Street, down Broadway Avenue. We have over 20 bike racks in the parking deck with a service station, specialty racks on Ray Street. So, hey, bike on downtown, and maybe we'll see you there and have a good drink or a good bite.
Well, I smell things coming from this building right here at Black Dog, so I think this area is the best smelling bike rack in downtown Urbana. All right, well, thank you for joining us today.